Today, I'm going to share with you everything I know about how to tell if a trainer is right for you or not, based on my personal experience, my insights of working with a variety of clients, what I do for my clients, and what I've observed other trainers, good and not so good, do or don't do for their clients, presenting them in concise bullet points for you to decide if your current trainer is right for you or not. The first couple of points I want to cover is the hard factors. First thing, skill set. It is the commonest denominator to first assess a trainer's ability based on his or her skill set. Whether in any kind of sports or any kind of movement therapy you're doing, he or she has to have the right qualifications and knowledge. You may say, of course, right? Not necessary. I'm saying this because there are too many fly-by-night certification courses right now that somebody can be certified in something in a matter of 3 months. 3 months is not a good timing to be certified in any kind of modality, exercise, or movement, because you're going to deal with people with issues with the body. You're going to help them to heal, to get fitter, to get better. The 3-month certification is like saying you join a company and within 3 months you go from being a junior staff to a director. It doesn't make sense. There is a process that everybody needs to go through, from being a junior in terms of studying the course to being somebody who is certified to train. And that process, to me, just the study alone should take about 1.5 to 2 years at least. So yes, it is like studying a degree in university, right? By the second year, you're actually quite good in the field of study you have chosen to major in. So let's say this person checked the box, okay? So you've got that certification in place, right? You've got your initial peace of mind that this person is qualified and has got the right skills to work with you to improve your body. The second thing under hard skills is the application of techniques, because there's one thing about learning it theoretically when we do the certification course. It's another thing to apply it to real people. Clients come to us with a variety of issues. I have clients who come to me with sleep problems, mood swings, depression problems, right up to osteoarthritis, stenosis, spondy, autoimmune deficiency, you name it. There's so many variety of issues, and more often than not, these issues, more than one of these issues, affect the client. So when we apply what we've learned in the certification course, we don't just apply one thing at a time or assess the client in one aspect at a time. We need to look at the person overall. So how the trainer applies the techniques given these different circumstances of each client, which is unique, is very, very important. If the techniques and skill set is applied well, great. Then you will begin to see results quite soon. If it's not applied properly, it will be like, you will start to feel a bit misaligned. You might even start to feel there's a bit of communication issues between you both. The communication issues or perception of it will lead to a less effective outcome, i.e., you may not be getting the results you need, or it might not make you enjoy the session so much. Either way, it's going to be less effective. So what do I mean by good application of the techniques? This is where it really, really makes a difference, which brings me to the third point. The application of techniques only works if the trainer knows how to evaluate you. Now, this is a very, very important point, more important than the first two I've mentioned. For all clients who are looking for trainers, we have to look for a trainer who knows how to look at the body in 3D, not 1D. 3D because we move every day, right? We don't sit still. The problem with a lot of courses is that they present the body in a diagram format, and the book is obviously just 1D. So anything that everyone learns through the courses are based on a 1D view. The diagram, a static human. So if you look at the body in a static way, and if the techniques applied are done so with the image of a static person in 1D, it's going to be less effective when you apply it to a 3D. So you're going to make sure that when your trainer evaluates you, he or she doesn't just ask you to stand still. He or she needs to ask you to move. Observe the way you do a certain exercise or just walking. Observe the way you lift your arm, for instance. Observe the way you turn your neck. Observe the way you do a variety of things, because the trainer needs to see how you move to really understand what's going on in your body. If somebody doesn't know how to assess you based on the way you move, rather prescribe something that is directly from a book in a 1D, 3D static format, chances are it's not going to be very relevant to you. So one test that you can give to your trainer is that I'm sure this trainer is going to give you a lot of names about muscles and bones, etc. So that's good. That means the person ticked the boxes in terms of certification and the application of the techniques. But you need to ask a person in his or her evaluation of you, what is the corresponding muscle that is involved? For example, the trainer might diagnose there's some issue with your biceps. Okay? Then you need to ask, so I have a bicep tear. Now, what is the corresponding muscle that is involved? Because when I move my biceps, something else moves as well. What is the other muscle that I should take into account? Then this way, you're able to test the trainer's ability to see not just one muscle, but the corresponding muscles in relation to the biceps. Because when you work on the body, you can never isolate the body to just one muscle. It's a myth. It cannot happen. The body works in teamwork. The body works like a pulley. The body is 3D. When we work on one thing, other parts get involved. So you ask, okay, I have a bicep tear. You need to help me with my biceps. But what about other corresponding muscles? What about the bone rhythms that is involved? What about the way I should move? How should I be avoiding the injury, or how should I move so that other parts of the body help me to help the biceps to move better, heal better? This is not a trick question. I just want to say this because there are just too many trainers who just prescribe exercises to clients based on textbooks without thinking about the consequence of movement. Our body changes totally when we move. So if we don't take into account how the muscles behave when we start moving, it's pointless to just diagnose a static muscle based on a static body. If your trainer is able to give you a satisfactory answer based on what worked correspondingly with the injured muscle, for instance, then great. You've got to be satisfied with the answer given, that actually if you have a bicep tear, maybe you don't work on the biceps immediately. You work on the reciprocal or synergistic muscle. Or maybe you don't even think muscle, you think fascia, connective tissue. So there are different ways to look at how to work with the injured muscle, i.e. the corresponding parts to help healing. There are more than one ways, so this one I leave it to the trainer to come up with his or her own way, but the person must be able to see the big picture. What else is involved rather than just one muscle? Go beyond the static. So to summarize, in terms of the hard factors, you need to look at one, does the person or the trainer has got the right certification, qualification that actually goes beyond 3 months or 6 months fly by night. The person needs to actually have at least 1.5 years to 2 years of proper certification process to be qualified to be called a trainer to help with movement rehab or to help you improve your fitness, physical well-being, etc. The second thing is application of the techniques. Very important is that the person needs to be able to apply it the right way for you. And third, the ability to diagnose beyond just a static movement. Of all three, I would say the third one is the most important, because if the person is able to diagnose you based on how you move, you've got a trainer who is very skilled in terms of looking at the body in 3D, who is realistic, who's able to help you to improve your movement function in daily life. And of course, once you have that, you're able to do any exercises that you want gradually in a free and effortless way. Let's talk about the softer factors now. After all, one-on-one training actually includes this thing called chemistry between two people, connection. It's a relationship, just not a romantic one, but it is a professional relationship that calls on softer emotional factors to be involved, and we must not disregard that. So these softer factors include the following that a trainer should ask you so that he or she understands you better. Because the way we move is determined by our lifestyle, our inclinations, including the way we walk, the way we sit, the shoes we wear, or the clothes we wear daily. So first thing, the person needs to ask you on what job do you do, not to be intrusive or nosy, but really to understand how much do you sit or stand or walk all day, or what kind of shoes you walk on, etc. Just to understand your lifestyle, to understand your movement pattern. Second thing, the person actually should chat with you a little bit about your life. I chat with my clients about their life. Again, not to be nosy. It's important to understand the way they see themselves, the way they perceive the world around them, the way they relate to other people and how people relate to them. For example, some people might have a kyphosis, which is a slump posture. Now, the slump posture is not just due to bad postural habits, bad standing or sitting position. It may also be the way the person sees himself or herself. Obviously, one is lacking in confidence. Two, maybe this person doesn't have a chance to speak up much at work or at home. Three, and I'm speaking from first-hand experience, one of my ex-clients have got big bust. And she has this issue because she's trying to hide her big bust size. She doesn't want it to be so obvious and big, and she developed this for herself. It's a form of protection so that men don't pay so much attention to her bust line, but more for who she is. And of course, you can also say that this is also because the anterior body is way down by the bust line, and therefore she has kyphosis. That is true too. So there are so many factors you need to understand. So the trainer needs to ask you about your lifestyle, a bit about you, and your relationship with the world around you. Third thing is very important, communication style. Now, not everybody needs to be communicated the same way. Some needs to be told very directly, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. Especially with male clients, from my experience, the more you are direct and say, do this and don't do that, the more they comprehend. So in my experience with a male client, don't try to be fluffy and nurturing. It's not necessary. With a female client, however, especially one who is at the prenatal stage, they're very vulnerable. You cannot be so direct with them. You need to go, all right, how do you feel now? Is it better? What about now? You have to be a little bit more of a caretaker. The tone matters a lot. So understanding your client's personality is very important. So as a client, when you have a trainer who tries to engage with you, you need to see if the person's communication style is suited for you. Because if you like the softer, more nurturing way, somebody who is too direct with you, although you know he or she is so good in what they do, you probably get a bit turned off. You probably be a bit taken aback. No, you feel like, maybe this person is judging me. No, the person is not judging you. The trainer is just telling you as is. But perhaps you prefer a softer way of communication. So you can tell the trainer and see what the trainer says or do. But if not, look for another trainer, because communication style determines the quality of your session. If you like the way the person communicates with you, great. But if not, we're not going to understand each other very well, so it's not going to work out. And on communication style, very, very important, make sure the person uses kind words. There is no substitute for it. Kind, encouraging words. Even if the person is direct and slightly pushy, the person needs to use motivating words that sounds kind to the body. That's absolutely key. If it's not, you know what, as a client, we probably clam up. You probably don't look forward to seeing this person a lot or the next time. But if you push yourself to go, it's not going to be good for both sides, because the trainer is probably going to feel you're a bit closed up. You're not that open to his or her prescription of exercises. And you may feel, no, I can't really relate to this person. No good for both sides. So like all relationships, communication is key. Use the right words. Last but not least is the tactile touch. Whether it's fitness training, whether it's Pilates or yoga, I believe to some extent the trainer has to touch you. Touch is very important. It's not to be intrusive, but it's to guide us all to be in the right structural integration for the exercise or movement, or to help us to get into the movement with greater clarity. The body does need some cues, because especially, for instance, back to the kyphosis example, if your posture is this way, you think you're sitting up straight, but you're not. So the trainer needs to come and guide you. Just open up a little bit, help us to sit on our sit bones, remind us what it's like to be straight. Therefore, the kyphosis person has a perception on what is it that he or she should achieve. So tactile cue is key, important for the trainer to touch you, but you got to make sure that the touch is gentle. The touch is not all over the place, makes you feel all over the place with your mind because you don't know what the person is doing, touching you all over. Or the touch needs to be guiding but firm so that you know the direction of movement. I can make a whole new video just on this. As I'm talking right now, I feel so excited. I'm going to make a video on communication between client and trainers. All the subtle details that would make the whole private session, training session so much more effective, so much more fruitful, and so much more beneficial for both. On that point, I want to say relationship between trainer as well as a client is symbiosis. Yes, the client paid for my session to have a one-on-one with him or her to improve the training, to improve the body and physical well-being. But at the same time, I'm also absorbing the person's energy to me. I'm also absorbing the vibe of the person. I too need to make sure I give out the best to the person, to the client, so that the client give me back his or her best. This way, it goes both ways, because I look forward to meeting the client again. I look forward to working with the client, and I look forward to doing more stuff, going deeper into the movement and the client's body to understand how to help him or her get better. So the summary of the 4 key points in terms of soft factors are: trainer need to understand your lifestyle, your relationship with the world around you. The trainer needs to communicate in the right way, in a way that you could respond well to, and for both of you to acknowledge that it's a symbiotic relationship. I'm very happy to be doing this video because it's everything I believe in. I'm not sure how many people will watch it, to be honest, because it's about trainer and clients. It's very niche. But if you do, and you're with me up till now, I really appreciate it. Makes me happy to share everything I've observed, my insights with everybody. So with that said, I want to thank you for being with me, for staying with me up till now. I say this in all my videos. Do keep moving, keep getting better, because our body loves it when we move. We are born to move. The more we move, the more we are able to learn about ourselves. There is actually no shortcut. Nobody can move for you, but the benefits are solely onto you, your own body. It's the best self-care. And with that, I'm going to close this video. Thank you so much for being with me. Do like and subscribe because it will mean a lot to me. I'll truly appreciate it. I will also be very, very motivated to make more content that is so meaningful to me, but make more to share it with everybody, each with its own perspective based on my insights and experience. I love to share them if I know you are interested, you're engaging with it. So with that said, I'll see you very soon in the next video. Take care and have a lovely day. Movement has been my form of self-care for over 20 years, and I want to show you how you too can move and take better care of yourself every day.